Canada's back, baby. I'm Brian Lilley with TheRebel.media. I'm standing here in the wilderness because if you listen to Trudeau Liberals, this is where Canada has been for the last decade, the Harper decade, when we abandoned international relations, when we abandoned multilateralism, when we abandoned the United Nations. Now, if you actually were observing the world during the so-called Harper decade, you know that this isn't true. Canada was a player in many multilateral forums. We were a player even at the United Nations. But it doesn't matter how much evidence, how many facts you present to Liberals. They're not actually interested in evidence, fact-based decision-making, no matter what they claim. They just want you to know that Canada is back because they're back. Justin Trudeau sending out this tweet on Thursday afternoon. Canada is back on the UN Human Rights Committee. Congrats, Marcia Cran, on winning the support of your colleagues from around the world. Oh, goody, we're back on the UN Human Rights Council and can take part in criticizing Western nations, condemning Israel, and letting dictatorships roam free. That's their record so far, isn't it? That's been their record for a long time. It's why the Harper government was actually quite critical of the UN Human Rights Council. Even previous Liberal governments thought that what they were up to was ridiculous and demanded reform, but we can't expect that from Justin Trudeau. He's not going to stand up and demand reform of an organization filled with members who might be voting on whether we get our seat back at the UN Security Council. That's what it's all about to him, and calling out the rogues and dictators, that's not going to help. Groucho Marx famously said he wouldn't want to be a member of any club that wanted him. Well, who are the members of the club that we've just joined now? They include Saudi Arabia, that esteemed human rights observer, the one that says that depending on your situation, you can be executed if you happen to be gay. There's also the Russian Federation, where if you disagree with Vladimir Putin, you can disappear. There's China, where if you hold the wrong religious views, you can actually be arrested. Forget about political dissidents. Then there's Cuba. They're also on there. They jail more journalists per 100,000 people than anybody else. These are just a few of the members of the UN Human Rights Council that I can point to. They are an organization that bands together to protect those who don't really believe in human rights, but they'll send over people to lecture Canada because we'll take it. We'll take it like good soldiers. This isn't an organization that we want to belong to, not without some serious reform. But reform isn't on the agenda for Justin Trudeau at the United Nations. It's just making sure the world knows that Canada's back, or in other words, he is in charge now.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of The Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.